Everybody from Nine Inch Nails to Marilyn Manson to early hip-hop pioneers owe this man a great debt. He's an extremely influential musician, and that influence is felt perhaps now more than ever. Mr. Gary Numan!
Such an anorak, but a technology interest, and that kind of stayed with me for a long time until I guess Mark Bolan and T-Rex came along, where I saw the whole pop star lifestyle thing happen, and fell in love with that as well. And so it kind of sort of slowly evolved over the years, and I didn't fully understand really what it was all about until it actually happened for me, and then I did an awful lot of learning very, very quickly, you know, with kind of everybody watching and making you look a complete fool of yourself. But I learned I think I actually fell in love with music probably more after I'd had some success. Up until then I was just playing games looking for a lifestyle, really. I got into synthesizers completely by accident. I'd gone to a studio in Cambridge to make a punk album, and there was a synthesizer that had been left behind by the band that was in there before me, and a thing called a Mini Moog, and it was supposed to be collected by a hire company, and they didn't turn up. So it was there for the whole day that I was there, and the studio manager said that I could use it. So I had songs that were, you know, and a guitar, and now they went and a synthesizer, and I took that back to the record company, who went mental because they really weren't into it at all. And but they didn't have any money to send me back. It's one of the advantages of being with a really poor record company. They had no budget to put me back in and do it properly, and so I ended up with this pseudo electronic album, and it did better than they thought. And the one after that went to #1. So from that point on, I could pretty much do what I like, really. But it was, you know, if that hire company had been more efficient and had collected it, I wouldn't have. Who knows? Probably wouldn't have done anything. The thing about electronic music, I think more than any other kind of music, in any given instrument, a guitar or piano, whatever it is, you can learn to play that particular thing very, very well. But it has a certain sound. You know, piano sounds like a piano, guitar sounds like a guitar. So you're not really searching for the sound itself. It's all about technique. Where with electronic music, synthesizers, you can have technique. You can have as much or as little as you like, but it's, to some of us, it was more about the sound itself, and so we were shaping sounds rather than impressing people with how many, you know, notes you could play in a millisecond.
See how it plays for you. Oh, but you take your life and tear it apart. heaven and ocean, down in the rage, like a poisoned emotion. Do you fall like fading desire, lost in the love of forgotten Messiah?
Two 2009 has been her year, let's face facts. But this time last year, she was voted #1 in BBC Introducing Sound of 2009 poll. She's had a top 5 album, and she's from Blackpool. I want you to whoop, make inappropriate noises, massive loudness, please, for Little Boots!
This year's been pretty bonkers. It's just coming up to a year ago that things really kicked off, and I won the BBC Sound of Paul and really started getting things and getting Brit nominations and stuff. It's just nuts to think where I was this time last year, and now I'm walking around the Maida Vale like I know everywhere to go, and I've been here about 5 times this year, and things become normal. Things that aren't normal and shouldn't ever really become normal do, like working with some of your biggest idols, or playing in front of thousands of people, or recording at BBC Maida Vale, which used to be a dream of mine, and I've done it about 5 times now. It's just, things become normal that kind of shouldn't, and it's hard because sometimes you get so caught up in it all, you forget how special things are, and you have to kind of remind yourself sometimes.
Mathematics is a difficult thing. I never understood what was the missing link, and by the time I calculated the correct solution, the question had escaped me, and so did the conclusion. So tell me, everything must always equal to, or nothing else is true, and I'll believe you. 'Cause your x is equal to my y, but equations pass me by. So will you take just a little of my mind and subtract it from my soul? Add a fraction of your heart, and you'll see it makes me whole. Multiply it by the times that we've never been apart. You see, nothing can divide just our heart plus our heart. A little of my mind, take it from my soul. A fraction of your heart, see it makes me whole. And multiply the times, never be apart. 'Cause nothing can divide a heart plus a heart.
My first synthesizer I got when I was I think I was 16 at college, and I remember everybody was in bands and I played piano, which wasn't really no one really wanted a piano in the band. It wasn't very cool. And so and then a lot of my friends were into kind of prog rock and stuff at the time. I think everyone was getting stoned and getting a bit trippy. And I remember watching a Yes Live DVD at my friend's house and going like, oh my god, what are these keyboards that are making all these incredible sounds? It sound like outer space or something. And kind of looked at it and I was like, oh, a synth, all right. Well, that looks like a keyboard. I can play things that look like that. So I got one. And it was pretty rubbish, my first one, but I got it, and I didn't know what I was doing. I just kind of pressed everything until I worked out what things were, and then it just kind of grew, and I started looking into other synths and who used them, and old ones and new ones, and who played on what and how they worked, and learning a bit about the kind of how they actually worked and create sounds. And it's just been just something that grows, and I'm still learning. I'm always learning. There's so much to know about them. Because you can make any sound. I was talking to Gary about it, and he was saying how, unlike a guitar or a piano, you can make any sound on a synthesizer. So you can think of the feeling of anxiety or fear or sadness or guilt, and you can try and make the sound of that feeling. I don't think you can do that with any other instrument. It's really like nothing else. So yeah. A lot of songs originate on the piano, and even if they don't, I often do acoustic versions of them, because I feel like any song, if it's good enough, should be able to stand up just raw on its own with just a piano or a guitar. And I always kind of like the mix of electronic and kind of natural or classical organic instruments. You know, it's an easy kind of mix of like future and past, which I really like.
I still stop and stare. An empty bed, an empty chair where words hanging in the air. They're left unsaid, they can't compare. There's a heart that still beats, though there's really no need. It only breaks the silence. There's a face that still hopes, though it's stupid I know, but I won't try to fight it. Sign your name across the sky. Hear me scream, but there's no reply. Only voice I hear is mine, and it echoes, echoes. Sign your name across the sky. Hear me scream, but there's no reply. Only voice I hear is mine, and it echoes, echoes, echo, 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 echo. A diamond in the sun. Just one glance, my body comes undone. Now comfortably numb, just letting me hide. I've nowhere left to run. There's a heart that still beats, though there's really no need. It only breaks the silence. There's a face that still hopes, though it's stupid I know, but I won't try to fight it. Sign your name across the sky. Hear me scream, but there's no reply. Only voice I hear is mine, and it echoes, echoes. Sign your name across the sky. Hear me scream, but there's no reply. Only voice I hear is mine, and it echoes, echoes, echo, 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 echo.
We were having a burger and chips with Gary in the cafe last week, which was quite surreal and amazing. He's just such a cool guy. He's still really cool and still doing so much, which I think is really great. And I think just lately he's really getting appreciated as a true kind of pioneer of music, which I think he really deserves.
The thing that's good about Victoria, and much better than I've ever done, is that she has an understanding of pop music which is light years ahead of anything I've ever had, and she's really good at it. I kind of just stumbled into it almost by accident, really, once, and then sort of stumbled away again. But she's really good, and she's very clever at understanding pop music and how it works and how to put it together. And I'm just a bumbling buffoon when it comes to that.
I was really glad when Gary picked Our Friends Electric, because, well, I was kind of secretly hoping, and then they came back and said that one. I was like, yes, because it's obviously my favourite. But it's an incredible version as well that I hadn't heard before, a live version with kind of piano breakdowns, which I'm doing something similar on piano as well, so it's quite interesting. And yeah, it'd be a bit scary, but it'd be cool.
It's cold outside, and the paint's spilling off of my walls. There's a man outside in a long gold braid, smoking a cigarette. now I'm alone. Now I can think for myself. About a lot of dells and vestiges and things that I just don't understand. Like a white lie that night, or a sly touch at times. I don't think it meant anything to you.
So I open the door. It's the friend that I left in the hallway. Please sit down. A candlelit shadow on a wall near the bed.
So I find out your reason for the phone calls and smiles. And it hurts and I'm lonely, and I should never have tried. And I missed you tonight, so it's time to leave. You see, this means everything to me.
It's quite surreal having someone that because Gary's got quite a specific voice as well, and it's quite surreal singing your song with someone that you listen to their album so many times, and having that voice sing your words that you've written it's quite strange. It's amazing. It's quite bizarre.
A young girl vocal is obviously very different to me, and the things that she sings about is very different So I had to try to find something that didn't sound stupid coming out of a 51-year-old man's mouth, you know. I know it sounds like it shouldn't be a problem, but it actually is. You know, so that was cool. But I like a lot of the stuff. It was just finding one that I could sing without sounding silly.
If your hands can manage it, perhaps one more round of applause for that. It was bloody brilliant. a sort of a nerve-wracking experience playing each other's songs? Is it, you know, what's it feel like?
I was a bit scared.
It's very weird, actually. Very weird.
I think it's weirder hearing your own song with someone you've listened to for so long singing the words you wrote. That's quite weird.
It must feel like you're in the middle of a dream or something sometimes.
It's strange. It's good though.
Steady.
Gary, you're a dreamboat. What can I say? I had a dream about Gary Numan last Thursday. I won't go into it now. What was the collaboration process like? Was it a pleasure? Or how did it work?
We had one day, about a month ago, didn't
And
we?
then we turned up just now and realised we'd forgotten half of what we did. No, it was good. It was good. We did. We had a day rehearsal. It took quite a while. I think the hardest thing was the next song we're going to do because it's a cover, so it's neither of our songs. But at least when it's one of your own songs, you've got your own bits that you know, and you can kind of help each other out. But this was quite scary.
Well, thank you very much from myself, but from everybody here for an absolutely fantastic evening, entertainment, wonderful music. We've really enjoyed it. I think that's fair to say, isn't it? Yeah. Incredible. It's been really brilliant. So all that remains is one more song. As you were alluding to before, what is the choice and who came up with it and what's the relevance of it, the significance, should I say?
The song's called Venus and Furs by Lou Reed, and it really came about by just trying to find something where we had some common ground, really, and an artist that we both liked and a song that we could do. Brilliant.
Well, we very much look forward to it, and this is the last song, so please take it away, Gary Numan and Little Boots.
Child in the dark comes and bows. Your servant, don't forsake him. Strike the mistress and cure his heart. shiny boots and leather. Witness your chair in the dark. Pins and bears, your servant don't forsake him. Strike the mistress and kill his home.
Little Boots and Gary Numan, please. Massive round of applause for a fantastic evening's performances. Absolutely wonderful.